My name is Reveal Allah. Today's supreme mathematics is wisdom built. How I see that is your wisdom is your knowledge being applied in real time. Build, you either gonna build, if you're not building, you destroying. So for me, I say if it don't add up, you gotta subtract it. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Certain things, if it don't add up to you, you gotta subtract it out your life. Because it ain't doing nothing for you. It ain't building you up. It's breaking you down.
Peace. My name is P Almighty 7. I'll try to
Whoa. To the right.
This way. Okay, peace. My name is Son God Allah. See today's mathematics as wisdom, build or destroy, or being born in knowledge cipher. Wisdom is the manifestations of one's knowledge. Wisdom is also one's ways and actions. Wisdom is also the wising up the dawn. Build it means to add on, and destroy means to take away from. Knowledge is the foundation of all things in necessity, and cipher is a circle that consists of 360 degrees, 120 degrees of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, all being born in 360. Peace.
Peace, my dear Allah. Today's supreme mathematics is wisdom, build or destroy. The way I see that is dealing with fair judgment in your ways and actions, knowing the right time when to add on and when to take away. And judgment, dealing with how I see today's supreme alphabet being justice. Justice is a reward or penalty given for an action, whether through fair judgment or poor judgment. So you do the knowledge to see if you need to add on to that cipher or if you need to take away from it. But when your knowledge adds a cipher, you're adding something of value and you're bringing it back to the foundation. Peace.
My attribute is Shabon Allah. I see today's mathematics. It's wisdom, build or destroy, all being born in knowledge cipher. Born's knowledge. Knowledge is consists of all things in existence. Also,
You gotta bet on wisdom.
knowledge is the knowledge.
P Almighty. Yeah. What is he supposed to be doing?
He was building on today's degree, wisdom.
No, he started with knowledge.
Oh, he started with knowledge. Oh, okay. He's supposed to build or being born to knowledge cipher. So you gotta start with wisdom, build, then get to knowledge cipher.
Yes, wisdom, build or destroy.
First build on wisdom, and then build on build or destroy, and then build on knowledge cipher.
Okay, so we'll build wisdom, build or destroy. Wisdom is the wise words being spoken by a wise man, also symbolic to the black woman. Build or destroy, build is to add to one's mental awareness. Destroy is to take down, tear away, obliterate. And also, when you add on to that, you say wisdom, build or destroy, one's knowledge cipher. You would say knowledge cipher or cipher is a circle or square consisting of 360 degrees. And Born's knowledge is to know, listen, and observe, and also to respect, and it consists of all things in existence. Also, it also represents the original Asiatic black man as God.
Peace. I come in the divine name of Justice Allah. Today's mathematics is wisdom, build or destroy. Wisdom is the ways and actions one uses to make his or her knowledge known. Wisdom is the manifestation of one's knowledge. To build is to add on. To destroy is to break down or to obliterate. The ways and actions one uses is how we build. So our actions is how we show others that we can add on by the things that we do and how we live out our daily lives. That all Born's knowledge add-on cipher, which is justice in the supreme alphabet. So justice is rewards or penalties for one's deeds or actions. So we bring the justice to any situation because justice is a scale. So we use that to measure the situations around us to either add on or take away based on the situation. For those that don't come correct, then we use the sword of justice to take the heads, mentally or physically. Peace.
My attribute is P Almighty 7. Today's mathematics is wisdom, build, all being born to knowledge cipher. Wisdom is the wise words, ways, and actions, the manifestation of one's knowledge. Wisdom is also the quality of having good judgment and right discernment. Build is to add on, establish, increase, or strengthen. Destroy is to put an end to, extinguish, kill, or slay. Knowledge is the foundation for all things in existence. It's to know, look, listen, observe, and respect. It's an accumulation of facts. Cipher can be a person, a place, a thing. It's also the completion of a circle at 360 degrees. Today's mathematics in the alphabets is knowledge cipher, which is justice. I see justice as just I see equally. When adding knowledge onto the cipher, I have to understand the equality of that cipher because the cipher is 360 degrees. And to understand the equality of that cipher, I need to know what to take away and what to add on. And that mean me learning new things and unlearning new things to add on the proper knowledge to my cipher. Peace.
Today's degree in the 1 to 10, the wisdom degree is who is the colored man. The colored man is the Caucasian man. White man, Yakub's grafted devil of the planet Earth. The build degree in the 1 to 10 is how much useful land is used by the colored man. Answer, 6 million square miles. And the knowledge cipher degree in the 1 to 10 is what is the said birthright of nations other than Islam. Buddhism, 35,000 years. Christianity, 551 years.
Peace, God. Peace. But what's going on here, God, that some of us are skipping. Some is going to the alphabets and some is going, you just went to the 1 to 10. So we got to get the format right, you know what I'm saying?
I say that to say this because we just did the mathematics and then people started adding on the alphabet.
Yeah.
So I was,
so,
we did last week, we did the mathematics, then the alphabet, then the 1 to 10, then the 1 to 14, then the 1 to 40.
So we on the 1 to 10.
Right.
No,
But let me just.
we got to. Everybody ain't go through the alphabet.
Everybody ain't go through the alphabets. I ain't even go through the alphabets yet.
I thought he was
first three.
he was the first
he went
person.
through
You
the
started with the
alphabet.
alphabet.
with the alphabet.
But we supposed to just start on the mathematics.
So we all touched on because I touched on.
You touched on it too.
We touched on the alphabet.
All right, listen.
We can do the alphabet.
Start over.
We can do alphabets next.
Today's
We could do the alphabet because we all did the mathematics. Let's do the alphabet and then just do the 1 to 10 and then just go from there.
Today's degree in the supreme alphabet is justice. The way I see justice is you got two choices. Either you can, when you have the knowledge of yourself, you know that it's just us here. But when you don't, you turn into just ice, which is you frozen and don't know how to move because you don't know how to connect with anybody because you don't knowledge yourself. Peace.
Peace. I see justice as a reward or penalty for one ways and actions. See, if you do bad deeds, then you get that justice, and if you do a good deed, then you get a reward, which is the knowledge of yourself, how to carry yourself in discipline. Peace.
Peace, Lord.
Peace. Today's supreme alphabet justice. The way I see that is it is a reward or a penalty for
One ways and
brought the
actions.
Cipher back around it. Yeah, fine. So yeah, justice is a reward or penalty for action or deed, and it's also fair judgment, or either fair judgment or unfair judgment. As we can see, bringing it down to a surface level in a court of law, justice is not always fair judgment. Sometimes it's being used as unfair judgment. But at the end of the day, it's a decision being made by that said person, deciding if they need to reward or if they need to penalize. Peace.
Peace. I see the mathematics. As far as the mathematics going into alphabets, I born into knowledge, which is Allah. Allah is the original Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, cream of the planet Earth, father of civilization, and God of the universe.
Peace.
All right, now here's what's happening.
It's supposed to be knowledge cipher, guys.
Yeah, y'all getting a little too creative with y'all building.
I born knowledge from the mathematics.
Are we gonna break it all the way?
No.
But like
It's going in the alphabets.
Yeah.
So we all building on justice then. So everybody building on
Yeah.
justice.
So the first letter in the alphabets was Allah.
Yeah, but you left out justice though.
That's knowledge cipher.
It goes from wisdom build
What's knowledge
to
cipher?
Born's knowledge out of Cipher.
But when you put knowledge and cipher together, it don't born knowledge.
You skipped that part. Is what you're saying.
You go with the first number, right?
Yeah.
That there's a degree for.
So it's wisdom, build, or destroy, all being born to knowledge, cipher.
Right. Now there's a 10th. See the reason why didn't you say what the 28th letter was?
Why didn't I say with the 28th?
Yeah, why didn't you say what the 28th letter was?
Because it ain't no 28th letter.
Because there's no 28th letter. But there is a 10th letter. You understand what I'm saying?
But you don't add up the 1 and the 0 at the end?
The first number that there's a degree for is the one that you deal with. So like I said, there's no 28th letter, but there is a 10th letter.
Okay, so justice, penalties, rewards for these actions.
Peace.
Peace. I see justice as the rewards or penalties for one's deeds or actions. Supreme mathematics is what governs our justice to determine whether the reward is the scale of justice or whether the penalty is the sword of justice. Peace.
Peace. I see justice as just I see equality. Just I see equality. And so when I'm doing the analysis of my cipher, I have to understand the equality of that cipher. And once I understand the equality of that cipher, I know how to become a well-balanced person. So I know what to take away and what to add on to keep that equality. Peace.
Today's mathematics and the knowledge cipher degree. Today's degree in the knowledge cipher is wisdom. The second degree, which is who is the colored man? The colored man is the Caucasian man.
Whoa.
Just build on the knowledge cipher.
Cipher degree, guy.
Y'all let me do that though before.
You was going, so we let you move shit.
It's not a cipher.
Okay, the 10th degree is the knowledge cipher degree is what is the birth record of the said nations other than Islam? Buddhism 35,000 years, Christianity 551 years. How I see that is they came after the original. So
And also, Islam has no set birth record, other than the sun, moon, and stars.
that's it. Peace.
Peace. I see today's mathematics in the 1 and 10 as what is the said birth record of said nations other than Islam? Buddhism 35,000 years and Christianity 551 years old. They have, I see that as they have a time being here on this earth, and the nation of Islam has no beginning nor ending. It is older than the sun, moon, and stars. I have a little knowledge about the Crusade War that they fought for 199 years, and that relates into the degree in the knowledge culture. The 5th degree which explains why we took Jerusalem from the devil how long ago. Because one of our righteous brothers by the name of Jesus buried there. They use his name to show their dirty religion, which is called Christianity, also to deceive the people and believe in him. Jesus teaching were not Christianity, it was freedom, justice, and equality. Jerusalem is in Palestine, which is in Asia Minor. The Jerusalem is the name given by the Jews, which means found in peace. It was first built by the original man, which is called Jesus, Salem, Ariel. We took the city from the devil 750 years ago. Peace. That's how I see that.
Peace. Today's degree in the student enrollment. What is the said birth record of nations other than Islam? Buddhism is 35,000 years old. Christianity is 551 years old. Now the way I see that, the word "said" in there says that's what somebody said happened, and we might not know that for sure, but what we do know is that these religions or these way of life, these alternate ways of life already do exist, and a judgment or a decision was made to create something that was other than the original way of living, what original people were living the culture of Islam, myself, Lord and Master, and it had no set birth record, no beginning and end, so it always existed. There was a dissatisfaction in a certain group of people where they decided to create something other than the original. That's how I see it.
Peace. One before you build, God, just one correction is that you said said birth record, but it's said nations.
Says, as far as the knowledge cipher degree of the student enrollment, what is it said? Birth record of what is it? No, what is it said? What is it said? Birth record.
If you don't know it, it's not your turn.
Oh,
If you don't know it, then you just do the knowledge. And if you have a question, you save it until the cipher is complete.
Okay.
All right? Peace.
Peace. Today's degree in student enrollment is, what is the birth record of said nations other than Islam? Answer: Buddhism 35,000 years, Christianity 551 years old. So when they're dealing with, how I see it is that when you're dealing with said nations, I mean, we're the only true nation. Islam's our culture is us, the 5%. Everyone else is said because it's alleged, it hasn't been shown and proven, right? So now when you're dealing with birth records, they have a beginning and ending. We've always been here. We're older than the sun, moon, and stars, and we can show and prove that through our ways and actions, through our history. Peace.
Peace. Today's degree in the 1 to 10 states. What is the birth record of said nations other than Islam? Answer: Buddhism is 35,000 years old. Christianity is 551 years old. I see that as those nations have a birth record because they were man-made. You know what I mean? And man is God, and man made the devil. You know what I'm saying? So when you following somebody else's said birth record, they may easily lead you in the wrong direction. They could be wanting to lead you in the right direction, but at the same time, you leaving that decision up to them to build or destroy upon you. You know what I mean? Because you just trust in their wisdom. You know what I mean? So with their wisdom, they could use you for whatever to shield their dirty religion or to add on. But you're not doing the knowledge to cipher to know their exact intentions. You know what I mean? So knowing that the supreme intelligence of Allah has always been here and will always be here. First, we have to do the knowledge to your cipher and to yourself to know how to act and move accordingly in these different ciphers. Peace.
Peace.
Today, the knowledge cipher degree in the 1 to 14 is
Why 1 to 36?
Oh, and the 1 to 36 is yeah. The knowledge cipher degree in the 1 to 36 is
Now cipher, though, you gotta say that wisdom building degree in the 1 to 36.
the wisdom build degree in the 1 to 36 is yes sir. Yes sir. The trader made an inter-orientation into their country.
Now cipher.
Take your time, bro.
Yeah, you got it.
You got
Yes,
it.
sir.
It's there.
The trader made an inter-orientation that they would receive more gold than they were earning in their own country
For their labor,
for their labor.
which was more gold than they're earning in their own country.
Yes sir. The trader made an inter-orientation that they would receive more gold for their labor than they were earning in their own country. The way I see that is that, he's dangling the carrot in front of his eyes and putting illusions in his head to build up to get him to roll with him. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to sweet talk him into a better deal than what he's getting already for himself. That's how I see it.
Please. I see that today's mathematics in the 1 to 36 is yes. The trader made interpretation that said that people will receive more gold for their labor, which was more gold that they were earning in their own country. Everybody knows the devil's plan to use his trick knowledge. So that's, to my understanding, that's what he was doing there. He made an interpretation to trick them to come to this country to say that they was going to receive the gold to put them in bondage, physically and mentally. Peace.
Peace.
Today's degree in the 1 to 36 says yes. The trader made an inter-orientation that they receive more gold, that they receive gold for their labor more than they were earning in their own country. The way I see that is, there was a translation that was made to someone that they will receive more gold for their labor, and it took them away from their natural state of thinking and also their natural way of living, because it makes you divert your path in order for you thinking that you're going to be able to receive more gold if you abort your entire mission that you already have going on. And the way I see gold, you can see it as G-O-A-L is a goal and gold. A lot of people's goal, G-O-A-L, is to get more money. So it's easier to distract somebody or throw them off their path by offering them more money. A lot of people justify getting more money would justify getting more money by doing an unjust act. And I see that as, for example, if somebody that you don't really know too well, you haven't probably did the knowledge to their cipher. If they could come up to you and say, if you drop everything that you're doing right now, and you will receive more gold than the labor that you're already putting in, but you haven't probably did the knowledge to that cipher and figured out if it's right and exact, and you drop everything that you do, and when you go along with them, then you lose everything you have, then that's exactly what you did, and you will receive that justification or that justice, which is a penalty for you not doing the proper knowledge to that cipher. Peace.
Peace.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, peace, Lord. I'm not up to that physical degree.
Yeah, you ain't gotta say nothing.
Peace. Yes, the trader made an interpretation that they will receive gold for their labor more than they were earning in their own country.
Inter-orientation.
Well, I have an interpretation in mind. I know some people have inter-orientation. But, so I see that as pretty much they had the wisdom, but their wisdom, their ways and actions brought about destruction instead of building, because they didn't do the proper knowledge to what the person was saying. So when you're dealing with the word interpretation, it comes down to communication and how one sees things. So it's the grass is green on the other side. So they saw an opportunity, or they didn't do the proper knowledge to the opportunity, and put themselves in a bad situation. They brought about the justice on themselves, but their justice was a penalty as opposed to a reward. Peace.
Peace.
Peace. The ones to build the green, the ones to 36s. Yes, the trader made an inter-orientation. They received gold for the labor more than they were earning in their own country. And I see that as once again someone doing knowledge to the cipher. And I see the cipher in this situation is you have to do the knowledge to the trader, the labor, and the gold. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't do the knowledge to all those ciphers, that once again you're trusting somebody else's wisdom, and then they have you building and destroying for their to manifest their determined idea. You know what I'm saying? But if you did the knowledge to all those ciphers, you will understand if you did the knowledge to the trader, the labor, and the gold, then that will give you an understanding of what the whole situation is, and you will know if that was beneficial for you or not. Peace.
Peace. Let's tighten up the cipher though.
Alright, the degree in knowledge culture is why did Muhammad make the devil study?
Now cipher.
No.
I mean, no. Not now cipher, no. The knowledge cipher degree.
The knowledge cipher degree is why does what reward?
Why does Muhammad or any Muslim?
Why does Muhammad and any Muslim murder the devil, and what reward does a Muslim receive?
What is the duty?
What is the duty of each Muslim in regard to four devils? Because he's 100% weak and wicked. His ways and actions are those of a snake of the grafted type, and if he was allowed to live, he would sting someone else. So Muhammad learned that he could not reform him devil, so he had to be murdered.
Because they know he's a snake.
Because if he was allowed to live, he'll sting someone else. Each Muslim was required to bring in four devils, and by having and presenting four devils at one time, his reward would be a button on the lapel of his coat and free transportation to the holy city of Mecca to see their brother Muhammad. How I see that is, what they're telling them is, you got to do the knowledge to yourself and get the devils and stop living backwards. That's what they were telling the Muslims to do, as in grabbing their four devils is talking about the culture that they was living prior to that. And once they get their mind right, they can have a free trip to the holy city of Mecca. Mecca just means to see their brother Muhammad is the knowledge, and Muhammad is the messenger, which is the wisdom. So you go back to your roots. That's how I see it.
Peace. I see today's mathematics in the 1 of 14 on the cipher degree. What does Muhammad? What?
Give him time, dog. You got it.
Why does Muhammad? Oh man.
Damn.
Why does Muhammad make? Why does Muhammad or any Muslim murder the devil? What is the duty of each Muslim in regardless to four devils? What reward does a Muslim receive by having and presenting four devils at one time? Answer, because the devil is 100% weak and wicked and will not keep and obey the laws of Islam. His ways and actions are those of a snake of the grafted text. So Muhammad learned he cannot reform the devil, so he had to be murdered because they know he's a snake, and if he was allowed to live, he would sting someone else. Each Muslim is required to bring in four devils, and by having and presenting four devils, his reward was a button to wear on the lapel of his coat, or also free transportation to the holy city of Mecca to see their brother Muhammad. And that's to show that the devil's 100% weak and wicked. What he'll do is tell lies, steal, and how to master the original man. So he knew that he had to chop his head off. You know what I'm saying? Because if he was allowed to live, he was going to poison you, me, and whoever or whatever baby was within the cipher. You see? And the reward on the button on the lapel of his coat, I'm not too clear about that, God, so I'm not gonna add on to that because I don't know what was the but I do know I have a little understanding about the four devils, which is jealousy, envy, lust, and hate. Those are the devil that exists within the original man that we had to kill within our cipher. And there could be more, or the four devils could be any other devils that an individual could be dealing with. It just don't have to be jealousy, envy, lust, and hate. It could be any situation an individual's going through. Peace. That's how I see it.
Peace.
Peace. Today's degree in the 1 and 14 is, why does Muhammad and any Muslim murder the devil? What is the duty of each Muslim in regards to four devils? What reward does a Muslim receive by presenting the four devils at one time? Because the devil is 100% weak and wicked and will not keep and obey the laws of Islam. His ways and actions are like those of a snake of the grafted type. So Muhammad learned that he could not reform the devil, so they had to be murdered. Any Muslim will murder the devil because they know that he's a snake, and also if he's allowed to live, he will sting someone else. Each Muslim was required to bring in four devils, and by having and presenting the four at one time, his reward was abundant wear on the lapel of his coat. Also free transportation to the holy city of Mecca to see their brother Muhammad. The way I see that, God, is there's a song there's a bar that AZ raps where he says the four devils is lust, hate, envy, and jealousy. I don't see that as the only four devils. That's not necessarily law. Everybody has their own four devils that they need to deal with. Somebody's maybe procrastination, it may be lack of confidence, it may be drug use, it may be you could be untrustworthy. And at the end of the day, those devils are nothing but weak and wicked because those hinder your ability to build. Today's mathematics is wisdom, build, and destroy. So it's up to you in order for you to do the knowledge to know when you have to build to remove those devils, and your reward will be that justice or that reward for you living a better quality of life. If what 5% is our duty is to teach, you can't teach somebody unless you remove your four devils, because the four devils that you have, if you're projecting that trick knowledge onto somebody else, then you're not doing anything but destroying them and holding them back. You're not adding on or adding anything to the cipher of value. You're taking away from it. And that's how I see it. Peace.
Peace. Today's degree in 1 and 14 is, why does Muhammad and any Muslim murder the devil? What is the duty of each Muslim in regards to the four devils? What is the reward if each Muslim by presenting four devils at one time? Answer, because the devil is 100% weak and wicked, and he will not keep and obey the laws of Islam. His ways and actions are like those of a snake of the grafted type. So Muhammad learned that he could not reform devil, and he had to be murdered. Because if we allowed him to live, he would surely sting someone else.
Because they know he's a snake, and if he was allowed to live.
Because they know he's a snake, and if he was allowed to live, he would surely sting someone else. The duty of each Muslim is to bring four devils, and by having it presented four at one time, his reward is a button to wear on the lapel of the coat, and also free transportation to the holy city of Mecca to see their brother Muhammad. So the way I see that is the four devils, first of all, we're dealing with four, is culture. So it's a culture of the things that a person is doing wrong in their life, whether it be smoking, drinking, not living correctly, not following the laws and order of supreme mathematics. Those are the devils. Anything that falls under that devilishment culture. What we want to do is we want to get rid of them, but we want to present them at one time because we know that we cannot reform the devil, so he has to be murdered. So we have to do it all at once because we can't half step with anything that we do. The button of the wear on the lapel of the coat is our greatest and holy flag, which is our universal flag, the nation of gods and earths. And we wear that to show others that our light shines in all directions: north, northeast, east, southeast, south, southwest, west, and northwest. So that's how I show and prove that's our flag, and that's our reward that we wear on our coat to show forth and prove that we are the true and living gods, that we live our life through supreme mathematics. Peace.
Peace. I didn't even know that was the button on the lapel of his coat. I thought it was the moon and the stars. I didn't think it was a universal
But it
law
applies to you.
for the Muslims.
Yo, any questions? Let's save it for after the cipher.
Breaking the cipher right now.
Today's 3 and the 1 to 14 states, why does Muhammad and any Muslim murder the devil? What is the duty of each Muslim regards to 4 devils? What reward does a Muslim receive by presenting the 4 devils at one time? Because the devil is 100% weak and wicked, we're not keeping away the law of Islam. His ways and actions are like those of a snake of the grafted type. So Muhammad knew that he could not reform the devil, so they had to be murdered because he knew he's a snake, and also if he was allowed to live, he would sting someone else. Each Muslim was required to bring in 4 devils by having presented 4 one time. His reward was abundant to wear the lip of his coat. Also free transportation to the holy city of Mecca to see their brother Muhammad. I see the 4 devils as one's 4 personal devils. Also, it could be the 4 aspects of the devil's culture of trick knowledge, which is devilshment, lying, stealing, and mastering the original man. And I see that as, well, how I'm gonna apply that today is I see that as original man adding knowledge onto his cipher to use his wisdom to build up the devil's civilization to destroy his own communities. And in sense, he becomes an oppressor of his own people. So he's trying to master the original man. And he's adding knowledge onto his cipher to become the 10% instead of deciding to teach who is the true and living God actually is on this earth. Peace.
Peace.
Today's agreeing the 1 to 40 is, who is that mystery God? There is no mystery God.
No.
The wisdom build, God.
Okay. The wisdom build degree in the 1 to 40 is, what was Yakub's first rule?
No, go ahead, God. I didn't say nothing.
The wisdom build degree in the 1 to 40 is, what was Yakub's first